To now bring on Metaphysical Marc, Marcus Brown, who is a beautiful soul inside and out. It was funny when we were trying to determine who our show lineup of guests was going to be this weekend. I was going through a few of the healers, and everybody saw Marcus's page on Om Heals and just said, "Who is that man with his beautiful spirit?" And that's how I felt the moment I met Metaphysical Marc. We were on a show together with a mutual friend of ours, Rev Reg, who he is just an incredible spirit who brings people together and had put on this conference back in October. And the moment I heard Marcus speak, I just said, I need to know this man. And I think I reached out to him on Instagram. He has a huge following there and said, can we please be friends? Because who Marcus is just an authentic soul inside and out. I'll let him share some of his adversities he overcame, and yet he does it with his beautiful smile, his grace, and his energy. He is literally joining us right now before he's going to hop on a flight in a few hours. And he is just the epitome of strength and love and grace. So, Marcus, thank you for being here with us. If you could just share a little bit about yourself before we get into the Q&A section, please.
Yes, Jennifer, thank you again for even having me on. And just to be a part of such great energy this week and just the panel itself. Mary Jo, thank you for um, starting us off because I'm going to piggyback off of so much of what you said based on my own story because um, I always say I feel like I've been initiated by spirit since the day I arrived here because um, growing up, I had a lot of adversities at a very young age and things I had to overcome alone. But in that aloneness, I knew I was never by myself. So um, at a very young age, I was actually put into foster care at the age of 7. So since 7 years old, I've been going through things that allowed me to build a resilience and a strong foundation within myself. I've always known who I was because when everything else was going chaotic around me, that was where I found my center. So I was always in a balanced place within myself, communicating with spirit, hearing spirit, and really leaning on spirit to keep me um, balanced in those states. So after that moment of, going through the system and going through a lot of adversities with that, it showed me more about who I am, showed me more about mental resilience, showed me about how you can still be you despite what's going on around you. So with that, it allowed me to stay strong and solid in my foundation within knowing who I am. So aging out of foster care, I ended up actually earning a Division II scholarship to play football, basically on my own. And the thing that I love to tell people was that none of my coaches in high school knew I was a foster care until my senior year because I never showed it. I never spoke on it. I never wanted anyone to look at me different than anyone else. I didn't want to be babied or anything like that because I know that everything that I've endured was for a reason. I know that I wouldn't be the man that I am now without that experience. So going through foster care has really allowed me to face any adversity with an optimistic outlook. So I know that we live in this duality plane. So if it's a bad, there has to be a good in there somewhere. And if you take time to actually look at it and objectively view it, then you can find out how to make the good out of those chaotic situations. So I've been really prone and drawn to teaching this, to showing people, to allow people to see that, hey, it's possible for you to be in a situation that you don't want to be in, whether it's life or, circumstances that you may have not have been conscious of that got you in there. You can always move out of it. You can always change and you can always shift the perception and the attachment that you have to any situation. So that's where I come in with my healing as well as being an energy healer. It just really allows for me to gain a better footing with the spiritual and the physical. So I end up going to the University of Metaphysics in Sedona to get my bachelor's in metaphysical sciences. I'm an ordained minister in International Metaphysical Ministries, and I've been doing Reiki slash energy healing for the last 2.5 years, all over the world, all virtually. And the biggest question that I get from people is, "How are you doing this virtually?" So then it allows for me to um, make that attachment to them in their mind by speaking to them from a very um, plausible stance of the physical world and understanding the world that we can't see, and putting them together and piecing it to a way that people can really digest it, so then they can start unlocking their own aspects of beliefs and their attachment to beliefs that changes their paradigms and allows for them to see that whatever they want to really be in this world, they can really be it. So that's what I like to offer to the world, honestly, is that if I can make it through being an orphan, homelessness, just a bunch of things that I had to endure with a smile on my face and always loving energy for others, always making sure that others feel appreciated, love, that they feel all the things that I wish I had felt when I needed it. That's my goal, is to be that for as many people as I can, that God makes and allows for me to be. Um, and that's where I stand on that. And I just want to say thank you guys for everything.
Mark, I'm jumping in for a second. It's the first time I'm meeting you, and first of all, I want to thank you for sharing your story and being with us. I want to acknowledge the power of your hero's journey in this lifetime. And I just want to ask you, what's one tool you can share for anybody who is watching that's not feeling connected to spirit, who's feeling disconnected from spirit, feeling disconnected